Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. How's everyone doing? This is episode 199. So we're really excited for this amazing episode. One more, and then we will celebrate 200 episodes. Let's just say quickly hi to Tay and then follow up based on that, and we'll see later on what's happening. Hello, Tay. Welcome to DX Talks. How was your week?
Good afternoon, Rudy. Good afternoon, everyone watching Crypto Talks session 199. This week was a glorious week in the courts of United States with the FTX verdict coming out, or not yet coming out, but at least we will see where the verdict will come out to. And we picked a really nice tweet this week to share with you on how did a bank director lose $400 million on the first Ethereum ICO. He was an early participant in it. Other than that, it was a supporting week for the price rally that we saw starting last week, and we're gonna delve into this as well in this session.
Indeed, that's a different week, different news. Thank you, Gary, for joining. And please, if you don't mind, do like and share and join us. Let's start quickly with scheduled news as usual. So, yeah, it's really interesting to see what's happening in the world in terms of the latest updates and how we have some updates regarding, some fake news, some world chaos in terms of financial banking, and some theft of or loss of certain uh, keys. And then we're going to be seeing what's happening with SPF himself, Sam Bankman-Fried, and what's happening in this quarter. Now they have a ruling, but we don't have the full information yet. But they will be sharing some more info later on. So with that, we will be very happy to announce that we are episode 199, but next week we will be episode 200. And this is a very big achievement for us. Join us, win, and support us. This is the most important part. We're here because of you. The more that we would like to give those videos, those snippets, those live, those questions, the more that we all benefit, and we try to work on following up the next episode and the next episode and the one after that. So do share and then make sure to subscribe yourself. The links will be shared a few minutes after we finish this episode, and then join us and let's see what will happen. So without further ado, as usual, we have our crypto fraud segment. So be careful if you receive any message from me or Tay asking you to bank with us or deal with us. Please note those are fake. We will not ever ask you about this. So this is very clear. We have a lot of fake profiles. So make sure that you are always. My account is even verified by Instagram or other platforms with a check mark, but that doesn't help for you falling in fraud. Um, a lot of events. Was it from data center cloud, accelerating transformation with IDC, 360 degrees, DDC investors, real-time payments and fraud management, conventional AI, a lot of events happening. The last month was really crazy in Dubai. There's a lot of events happened, and I had to travel to Saudi, and then there was others happening in Kuwait and Bahrain and Qatar. So it's really important so that you can join all of those events. Don't forget our second MENA Top 25 Women that is still going. If you know any lady in the fintech space, blockchain and AI, please do nominate them or nominate yourself if you are watching with us. We have a lot of interviews that we got from JITEX Sport and other events. So make sure to check our YouTube channel and then join. Was it from Acronis cybersecurity firm or Blockchain Valley, Blockchain Satoshi Vision itself? They had a nice booth with around 8 companies. We have different interviews that will be coming out throughout the following month. And we have released, I think, 2 or 3 so far. Interesting use cases. This is Simit Nayak with Nchain. And then we have another one also that is really interesting that is being published on our channel. So with that, let me welcome Tay again, and then we'll take it on from there. Tay, you are muted, if I'm not mistaken.
You're right. I am muted. One more time. Good afternoon, Rudy. Good afternoon, everyone who's watching us. Um, week 45, session 199 from Crypto Talks. Week 45 was a important metric where Glassnode has shared with us regarding the Bitcoin supply shortage or the Bitcoin supply tightening that we're seeing today. So the Bitcoin supply is historically tight with many supply metrics that describe inactivity that is happening today on the Bitcoin network. This inactivity has reached multi-year layer, so it's not recent. Even when we were at all-time highs, the activity of the Bitcoin network was not on par with the price action. So with the coming ETFs, with the coming Bitcoin halving, we are expecting a more and more tightening on the Bitcoin supply with no demand increasing at all. This should reflect on the price. And as we know, with the rules of economics, when supply is short and demand is stable, prices do as well change, and there might be a glorious bull run, as many people are pointing out to it. Um, what we have as well on Glassnode, I'm just taking a quick look on our notes and summaries here. We saw that the long-term hodlers, they're still not cashing out on their Bitcoins, and they're still uh, waiting for a new top to happen. So this is why accumulation across the charts of Bitcoin is evident today. And with the as well latest news on FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried, I think we are going to witness one last round of litigation and legal correspondences between crypto companies, specifically DCG Digital Capital Group with Barry Silbert. Perhaps we'll leave this topic for next week to talk about it, but there might be one more, that not, I don't want to say a bad actor, but a questionable actor in this space, DCG Digital Capital Group or Digital Currency Group, with its head Barry Silbert. There is some today question marks between their relationship with Genesis and their relationship with creditors, and the big $1 billion question between Genesis and DCG. But as I said, let's pick this for next week, because this week a very important piece of news happened. FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried, we are seeing the end of this saga. It was very quick compared to other cases that took a long time in investigation. The case that we're looking at today has been almost over a year, and in this span of 1 year, the judge has already decided, hey, SPF, you have committed fraud. This fraud commitment would not have been accurate without the testimony of uh, they were calling them the FTX lieutenants, like the CEO of Alameda Research, the head of engineering at FTX, and a few other top-ranking officials in the exchange. They were asked to testify, and they all testified against SPF. So this was a very important note in this week, but we had as well some positive and enlightening news. So we can kick it off, Rudy, with Kraken announcing their L2. So if we have followed the Coinbase and how did Coinbase roll out their layer 2 network, Kraken is taking a similar step, and they're launching their own layer 2 network. It is as if this trend in the industry today that exchanges are developing their own layer 2 networks. So what are layer 2 networks? Layer 2 network is a secondary protocol that we build on an existing exchange. So with Coinbase today, they have their own L2, and we're looking at Kraken having their own L2 as well in the coming future. By becoming an L2 player, they will compete directly with Coinbase. The next piece of news that we picked for this week was from UAE, and the UAE, they're issuing their regulatory roadmaps not only on the crypto space but as well on the governance tokens and mainly DLT foundations or digital ledger technology foundations. So they want those foundations to be regulated under the Abu Dhabi global market. And when you are doing a token issuance, this token issuance should come under the regulatory roadmap or the regulatory enforcement of ADGM, specifically Abu Dhabi. Not only Abu Dhabi is looking at regulating DAOs and foundations related to blockchain, but as well Marshall Islands has lately released their legal framework for DAO registration. So this means that layer one, layer two protocol foundations, they need to receive a license from ADGM to offer tokenized assets, digital assets, and so on. Um, I think this is a added revenue stream for ADGM to add on its revenue streams from crypto companies, whether it's licensing fees. Now we're seeing DAO registrations. This will attract more and more projects and protocols to UAE and specifically Abu Dhabi and ADGM. The head news for this week was Sam Bankman-Fried and his guilty charges on fraud. There is no yet a known number of years that he will serve. The maximum sentence that he could serve is 115 years, but I don't want to call them experts, but speculators on the SPF case. They're saying he might take 25 years in prison. SPF has as well health issues, so we don't know how this will reflect on the quality of prison he is in. But he has now a new roommate or a new prison mate, the exploiter of Mango Markets, who as well committed fraud on the Mango Market decentralized exchange, and he will be as well processed in the same way that SPF has done. I am wondering only, will the judge want to send a message to the crypto community through a very harsh sentence on SPF? This is a big question mark. They did this with Ross Ulbricht, the founder of the dark web, Silk Road, and they gave him the most excruciating sentence that anyone can face in a drug related charge, which is usually 20, 25, 30 years, 50 years. But in case of Ross Ulbricht, he took 2 life sentences. So, will SPF take 115 years in prison? This is up to the few weeks. Hopefully, this year we can find out. Now, SBF has time until March 2024 to defend his case. Otherwise, he will be convicted with what the judge decides. He had the chance to plead guilty, but he didn't take this card and he played the non guilty card, hoping that he can twist the turn of events, and he's a risk taker, so it was obvious that he's going to take the step. But let's see what I think what he didn't rely on, or what he didn't bank on, was his lieutenants or his co-founders flipping on him. But let's see. From UAE as well, Hamdan Muhammad launches the Dubai program for Gaming 2033. This comes simultaneously with the plan from Saudi Arabia to launch the World Cup for electronic games in Riyadh. And with this Dubai program for Gaming 2033, so we're talking about 10 years from now, it is expected that it will create 30,000 new jobs. It will have $1 billion in contributed GDP to the country, and it will at least attract more than 100,000 developers, programmers, and creative content makers. With all my respect to the initiative, this for me sounds like the initiative that was launched at the hype of Bitcoin with the metaverse and the program for the Dubai metaverse that will create 100,000 jobs and $1 billion in turnover. I think personally, this is, if we want to compare between the two statements, launching a metaverse program or launching a gaming program, I think the gaming program will yield more profits to the government, but this is in direct competition with GCC Saudi Arabia. So, will the Saudi money outperform the Dubai money? That's a question for the future and a question of time. But remember that MBS, or Muhammad bin Salman, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, together with Cristiano Ronaldo and other influencers, they announced the World Cup for electronic games that will take place in Riyadh. And again, this is a huge turn for our region, because gaming is one of the most lucrative digital sectors now in Saudi Arabia and in GCC as well. Last piece of news for this week: the founder of an Estonia-based bank called LHV Bank. His name is Rain Lomos. He has more than 250,000 Ethereums locked on his wallet. He forgot the private key. And since then, he has been receiving airdrops on his wallet around $7 million, and they're also locked. So the total amount we're looking at is more than $450 million in Ether that is locked in this wallet, and it cannot be retrieved. There are certain experts or white hat hackers that are trying to uh, offer a solution and perhaps share this fortune of Ethereum. But this mystery, it was a mystery for quite some long time, that who is the holder of this address. The address that we see in the picture starts with 0x and ends with FP9. It holds the balance of 250,000 Ethereum, and it has never left the wallet, it has never moved. It received more than 100 tokens in airdrops amounting around $31 million. So, I mean, this is the beauty of crypto and this is the beauty of blockchain. We can trace every single transaction from its birth until now. And if you don't have the keys to your wallet, you simply cannot use it. Unlike a bank, which is giving you access through your identity, through your first name, your last name, your address, here we are getting access through simply a smartphone and a crypto wallet. Always, as we say, not your keys, not your coins. So if you have a non-custodial wallet, perhaps now is the time to learn from Rain, the founder of LHV Bank, and not I mean, not to be like him. Update your wallets and make sure that you have your private keys written in a safe place. We go back to you, Rudy. This was the news for this week.
Thank you, Tay. Interesting news this week, especially on the Sam Altman and what's happening also in UAE and Dubai and GCC and Gulf, and specifically Saudi on the gaming front. I think this is seeing a lot of growth in terms of how much investments and startups. I just read some news that for the first time, the private sector employment has risen above 12.5%. So that means there's more and more investments jumping in the region, especially in Saudi, and then especially in startups and companies other than the governmental companies. So it's very interesting. Thank you, Tay. If there's any questions, we'll take them. We had a mix-up in the link, I think, but we recovered a little bit. Just to remind again, this is episode 199, and next one is 200. We will be joining us and appreciating you for join us in this episode 200. We will be releasing the links for the celebrating the episode 200 within a few minutes when we finish tonight's episode, but it will be there for 2 weeks. We'll be having some awards next week and the week following week, so that we can give it some time for our community to be available. I don't know if you have anything else to add, Tay, other than saying hi to Khalid next to you, that he just sent me a nice photo. Otherwise, I'll check if there's anything. What's your take on Sam SBF?
Can you repeat, Rudy? I lost you for a minute.
What's your take on Sam SBF case? Where it will go?
Yeah, I think he will take 25 years in prison. Um I mean, listen, the guy was lying in court, and he was his behavior and his character, his attitude towards the judges, towards in this whole time of the case, towards his investors, towards the people that he has hurt, and the scale of the damage that happened. Until today, people don't realize that teachers, elderly, people in the military, a lot of diversified fabrics of society have invested money in FTX and large amounts of money. He said in the court more than 100 times, I don't remember, I don't know, I don't recall. This was not accepted by the community first, and second by the judge and the jury. Now, one of the jury members, and I cannot verify this information, one of the jury members has a relationship to her that passed away or committed suicide because of SPF. And it was said that some of the jury members did not want to give a harsh sentence against SPF, specifically when it comes to the bailout, and it was rejected. I think the regulator wants not only to punish Sam, but want to punish anyone in the future who would play the same game that Sam played, funding politicians, embezzling money, uh, lavish lifestyle, owning private jets, private personal investments from customer money, and the big elephant in the room that we have today. Not only startups took money from SPF, but projects like Solana was heavily funded and heavily invested with FTX money. So is this customer money? And if it's customer money, yeah, the startups that got funds as well, some of them are in the Middle East, some of them are exchanges in the space that we know were funded by FTX. So we will not know the repercussions of what he did today, but I hope he gets a very strict sentence that will deter future SPF of coming back and uh, destroying the crypto market reputations.
Very interesting. Um, Lama says, amazing guys. Bob says, congrats on the 200th episode. And we have a nice question. More regulations are coming. Trying to read it. Last week, they released M2 exchange in Abu Dhabi, the promised global crypto bank. What's your take on this? Is it Kevin's highlight story?
Yeah, this is. I mean, Kevin O'Leary also highlighted FTX, and he said it's a safe investment, and he's putting all his money in it. Let's see what this M2 will do. I think this is more an institutional grade exchange, and being positioned in Abu Dhabi is a good sign because the regulatory sphere in Abu Dhabi is totally different than the one in the United States. Yet still, our position stands the same. If it's not your keys, it's not your coins. So even with an M2, M1, M3, no matter what TikTok shows us on the future of crypto exchanges, always have control over your funds by having control over your private keys.
Indeed. So thank you, Tay. Don't forget to join us next week uh, on the beautiful episode that is going to be. Of course, there will be some news, but more importantly, on how us as a community are growing. Thank you a lot, Tay. Thank you for this episode. Send my regards again. I think that's it from us, and then we'll see you next week with more news. So always uh, be careful of how you invest. Be careful of how you join. Where do you send your money? Check your wallet. Check your wallet addresses. Check who you are dealing with, even if it is us. That is something you have to always try to safeguard your wallet passkey, your wallet keys, and don't lose them, as we saw with some of the examples happening minutes ago with Connor and then the LHV Bank. So it's crazy what's happening in the world. With that, I'll end this episode and say thank you again. Thank you, John. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Lama. Thank you, Gary, and others who joined. So don't forget to join next week so that we can always be together and then try to see where we're going for the next 200 episodes. And with that, I'd like to thank you, Tay, and then see you later.